Good morning and welcome to the VSA Morning Miner. It's the 9th of September. A sad morning in the UK, but mining news is still happening. Paul, how are you doing?
I am well, thank you. Thank you. And yes, regards to all of the diaspora for the UK out there too, with the death of the Queen yesterday.
We missed recording yesterday, but there's some quite important news that we missed. So shall we start there? Prime Mining had some assays which were I think a big step in terms of what they've been releasing recently for Guadeloupe.
Yes, that's right. Prime Mining, Shanghai Mining Club member of ours, also TSX listed gold silver explorer in Mexico on the Los Reyes deposit down there, gold silver. Specifically, this news on drilling results on the east side called Guadalupe East Guadalupe structure. Where they have defined resources. And these are step-out holes that they had assays on in this case on the edges of the pit shell that they had modeled back some months ago. Intervals showing up here like 5 grams gold and 328 grams silver over 3.7 meters. 1.3 grams gold, 38 grams silver over 9 meters. I wanted to flag up for investors, specifically the hole 63 that's in that announcement, 264 gram silver intercept over 3 meters. The importance of that one is it's 3 meters further east outside the pit shell along the defined mapped structure at Guadalupe East. And there's another historic shaft that's at least another 200 meters further southeast beyond that. So the significance is plenty of drilling opportunity there to expand the size of the East Guadalupe ultimate open pit. So that's really important, I think.
Yeah. These results expanded it along strike and at depth. That original or the current compliant pit resource is based on a strike length of only about 120 meters at Guadalupe, and this is adding a couple of hundred meters to the strike, as you say. So encouraging for a pretty sizable expansion, and a number of these assays hitting multiple veins as they drilled down, with the company describing it as sort of flower structure, with all of these veins feeding back into the main Estaca vein, which is the key structure for that deposit.
Right, and in this flowering that they described there, if it's within 150 meters of surface, that just makes it more likely that it gets pulled into an open pit shell, as opposed to needing to be extracted underground.
Absolutely, and it had quite a significant impact on the share price yesterday, which has come back a long way, given the sentiment in precious metals market. But it needed some significant news to shake it out of that downtrend, and I think that has started to do that. And with I think about 80 assays still to come in the current drill program, there's plenty of scope for more significant catalysts.
I would agree.
There's also some news out from Ionic Rare Earths.
Yes, Ionic, also a Shanghai Mining Club member, ASX listed rare earth clay explorer in Uganda. They had their subsidiary, Sarin Technologies, has received a 1.7 million pound sterling grant from the UK government, and this is specifically to establish a demonstration scale magnet recycling plant to be located over in not on the UK island, but over in Belfast, Northern Ireland. So that's a nice progress. And being eligible for this kind of research and development money just demonstrates that they do have something of real significance, I think, in the extraction metallurgy technology side of the story here that needs to be tested at this point.
Yeah, another UK company getting government support. I think Cornish Lithium got a bit more grant support similarly yesterday as well. Sierra Madre closed their first round financing for the acquisition of La Guitarra in Mexico, Paul.
Yes, that's right. $10 million raise there in that funding. 65 cents, I believe, was the share price offer on that funding. And the outlook looking very positive at this point, because as an early stage company, of course, trying to make an acquisition for an operating asset, it demonstrates some significant support by investors that yes, this management can in fact take this on. So nice to see.
Yeah, and I think it's more than just a junior taking on a mid-tier company's asset, given that Greg worked on the project a few decades ago, and so he's now working to combine all his data that he's kept with that they've acquired from First Majestic to see what they can combine to make this a more interesting project than perhaps what you can see from the latest resources and production statements. Anything else, Paul?
Yes, really important, I think, to mention this feasibility study result released there by Skeena Resources this week on the Eskay Creek mine, just demonstrating how robust this particular mine redevelopment as an open pit will be. Here, Skeena TSX listed Eskay Creek, a former Homestake and Barrick operating underground mine, but this remodeled to be and re-drilled essentially to be an open pit operation. We're talking about after-tax NPV at $1,700 gold and $19 silver, $1.4 billion with an after-tax IRR of 50%. And it's the open pit grade, which will be the really interesting thing. One of the very highest in the world, 3.8 grams per ton to produce over 400,000 ounces a year on a life of a mine that will be well in excess of 10 years. Just want to say here that the Skeena price now is down around $6 a share, whereas at the time that Barrick Gold gave up or surrendered its option to acquire 50% of this was about 2 years ago, when the shares were trading around $14 a share. So the question in my mind, I guess, to consider is whether or not Barrick now comes back to make a bid for the whole company.
Well, there we go. Those are pretty impressive numbers. So we'll be watching that, seeing whether your prediction comes true.
All righty.
Thanks, Paul. Have a good weekend.
Very good. Thanks.